Welcome to the fourth and final part of the DataFlux video series, 3 Critical Steps to Improving Product Data Quality. I'm your host, Jim Harris, the blogger-in-chief at Obsessive Compulsive Data Quality. I'm also a regular contributor to the DataFlux Community of Experts blog, which will soon be relaunched as the Data Roundtable. This video series has been about improving product data quality by focusing on 3 critical steps: categorization, standardization, and matching. This video series is based on my DataFlux white paper, which is available for download at dataflux.com/knowledge-center/DQ. In this fourth and final part in the series, we are going to talk about the third and final critical step, which is matching. But first, a quick recap of where we've been. Back in part 2 of this series, we talked about categorization. We looked at the 20 records from the Acme Foods Product Master Catalog and assigned them one of 2 product categories, either the candy category or the beverage category. And this was the first step in dividing and conquering the product data quality challenge, allowing us to divide our products along the lines of the parts of the product hierarchy, in this case just 2 categories, which helps up to align the technical process that we're developing with the business rules and also the internal subject matter expertise about product data. From there, we went into standardization, where we went inside of each of the individual categories and applied category-specific standardization rules, allowing us to evolve our free-form product description field into a more structured, addressable, and standardized representation of our products, allowing us to prepare for our final step, matching. So here we're going to first identify duplicate products. Back in part 1 of this series, we talked about 6 duplicate products being present within the top 100 best-selling products by Acme Foods. Now that we've performed categorization and standardization, we have a resulting normalized picture of our product descriptions that are normalized actually to the point that the 6 duplicate records are now easily identified as exact matches. So the 6 duplicates of the 3.5-ounce chocolate bar for E Heart Emoticon MC Squared, which we've come to learn as Everybody Loves Milk Chocolate Squared, are the 6 duplicate products represented on this screen. Now, I don't want you to get the mistaken impression that just because we can now easily see the duplicates because we've so rigorously standardized the records, that this is the only approach to take when matching for the purposes of duplicate identification. Data quality tools provide far more robust matching capabilities, allowing you to overcome the variations in the product data description without having to so rigorously standardize it first. However, standardization will still provide a useful preparatory step for improving the effectiveness of match results, as well as other aspects which we'll get to later. But for these particular data examples which we were working with in this video series, it's now very easy to see that within the candy category, we do have some duplicate products that need to be consolidated. So in this case, we are going to go from what was originally 10 products within the candy category down to only 3, because we're going to take these 6 duplicate records and consolidate them down to one single representative record. This is sometimes referred to as a survivor or the golden copy. Now again, in this particular case, no sophisticated logic would have had to be performed because the records are exactly the same. But typically a duplicate consolidation process, or again, sometimes referred to as a survivorship process, has to support logic for allowing you to either select one record from within the identified group of duplicates or construct a representative or golden copy record from bits and pieces taken from multiple records within the duplicate group. Either way, the goal is to create a single representative record that can then, in the case of consolidation, take the place of all of the duplicate records. Alternatively, we may also be creating that survivor or golden copy for other purposes, such as cross-populating the best available information about the product. But again, in the simplified case that we've used in this video series, we actually do have duplicate records that we need to consolidate, because going back to the business case from part 1, we were mistakenly led to believe that we had 6 different products among the top 100 best-selling products at Acme Foods, which was very misleading because we are, in fact, actually selling the same 3.5-ounce candy bar. After we have performed matching, and of course, previously, categorization and standardization, after those 3 critical steps have all been performed, our original 20 records of product descriptions have now been pared down to only 15. So we've eliminated the duplicates, but we also have created this new standard structure, which could perhaps be the new standard reference internally at Acme Foods for the product master catalog, allowing us to see our products broken down by both category and brand, as well as visibility to the unit information and a standardized product description. Although we didn't demonstrate it in this video series, another form of matching could have been to match against a standard reference file, either one that we've constructed or perhaps an external standard. In either case, we could be either standardizing our data rigorously or lightly in order to match against a standard reference file such as this. So this could actually end up becoming the new reference file that we match against to prevent duplicate records from being introduced into the product master in the first place. Another thing to point out on this screen before I move on is, again, the unique nature of product data compared to other data domains. Some of the variations that we're seeing here on this screen are actually relatively minor. If we take a look at the last two records, for example, the chocolate energy drink is exactly the same except for the unit count difference. Record differences as minor as this in other data domains, such as customer name or postal address, might actually be considered close enough to be considered a duplicate record. But relatively minor variations can still lead to legitimately unique records within the product data domain. Another example of the variety that could be caused within the product data domain is exemplified by the Sugar Water brand, where we had talked about back in part 1 of this series how product packaging can create multiple products. So we have different size cans and bottles of the same product that are unique products because of their unit count, unit size, or unit type. Once again, these are variations that we don't typically run into as much in other data domains, but in the product data domain, they are quite prevalent and again contribute to some of the unique challenges that we face in product data quality. So to quickly recap the series summary, we have talked about in this video series 3 critical steps to improving product data quality. The first step was categorization, which organized products by category, aligning technical processes, business rules, and subject matter expertise, and also allowed us to route our products to category-specific standardization rules, which again is often important because a lot of the content of product description fields, which contain a lot of symbols, abbreviations, and other content, can take on tremendously different context within different product categories. Therefore, categorization is an important first step in product data quality. The second step is standardization, which we saw separated out the bane of product data quality, which is the free-form product description field, which is where most of the data attributes of product data will be buried. We separate that out with standardization to create new fields, apply standard values, populate missing values, which also allows us, among other things, to increase the probability of having effective match results. In part 3 of this series, we also talked about how standardization should be intentionally designed to be very modular, not only going through the steps that we saw in part 3 of this series logically, but also keeping them physically separate, which again was the separation of the description into new fields as a separate process from the application of the standard values. One of the reasons that that's a general good best practice for data quality, but almost an essential best practice for product data quality, is the fact that there is often more than one set of standards. The example that we briefly discussed in part 3 was a linguistic example. So if Acme Foods was an international company, there may be different native language standards applied, so for example, to the brand name values when products are sold in North America versus when they are sold in Europe. So therefore, because there are legitimately multiple standards potentially to be applied to your products, having your standardization process designed as modular as possible will allow for a more plug-and-play architecture to improve the reusability of the standardization components that you build in your product data quality projects. The third and final critical step is matching, which we saw in this part of the video series for identifying and consolidating duplicate products within a source. However, matching and the structures that support it can also help facilitate improved search capability within a source and within an internal reference that we're creating, perhaps the new Acme Foods Product Master Catalog. We also can be using matching to support matching against a standard product reference, either again an internal reference or an external reference as well. Again, a reminder that this entire video series was based on my Dataflux white paper, which is available for download at dataflux.com/knowledge center/DQ. I hope that you enjoyed both this video series and also download and enjoy the white paper that it was based on. Now, Acme Foods and the product data examples that we looked at helped us to understand that many people do like sugar water, as well as everybody likes milk chocolate squared. Well, the final thought I'd like to leave you with is everybody also loves high quality product data. Thank you very much for your time. I hope you have a great day.